Hello, what have we here? And welcome to another episode of the There Are More of Us show, where we celebrate creators spreading positivity in the Star Wars fandom through their love of Star Wars. This week's guest is Danielle, aka Written in the Star Wars, who's also my twin. Why is she my twin? Well, we were born on the same day, same year. Twin. Enough said. She is a wonderful creator, and you are going to find out why in this episode. Without further ado, let's get to it. There are more of us. Well, hello there, twin. Welcome to the show.
Hi, twin. It's been a while since I've seen you live.
Yeah, I know. It hasn't been since
Since
Celebration, has it?
Celebration. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, April of last year. Wow, it's almost a year. Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm familiar with what you do and the content you make. But can you tell the people what kind of content you make?
Yeah, I am mostly on TikTok and Twitter, or X, if that's what we're calling it now.
I'm not calling it that.
Good, me either. But on there, I usually do like book reviews, show analysis, character analysis, mostly of Star Wars, but I also branch out to other franchises like The Hunger Games, The Last of Us, some MCU content every now and then, but MCU fans scared me, so not so much anymore.
Yeah, Danielle does really great book reviews. And
Thanks.
she posts them on Twitter, and like if you don't see her tweets, you'll see me, hyping them up. I still haven't. I have read, but I haven't watched Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm like worried because I was like, that was a thick book.
Oh yeah.
And I keep hearing like, oh yeah, they should have made it longer. And I'm like, oh no.
And it's already a long movie, so I'm like, I would take 4 hours. I would have taken a 4 hours director's cut.
Yeah. Oh, we need more director's cuts. So, you love Star Wars, you love the clones,
Yes.
you love Ahsoka. But what is your Star Wars story? How'd you get into it, and why do you love it?
Well, Star Wars has been in my life my entire life because my dad is a huge fan. He's a OG 1970s Star Wars fan. Went to go see it in the theaters and everything, and so he's loved the movies since they came out. And when I was growing up, they were just always on in the background. And I grew up watching the original trilogy, and we didn't go see the prequels in the theaters, but when they came out, my dad bought them immediately, and we watched them at home. And so I grew up loving them and it just being a natural part of my life. And if my dad bought me like Valentine's Day gifts, he would give me Star Wars themed Valentine's Day
Aw.
gifts. So yeah, so that was kind of like our little connection that we had. And then when I really started loving it, like on my own, kind of separate from that initial, like natural part of my life, was when The Force Awakens came out and
Mhm,
Rogue One. And that was the first time that I felt kind of a more like personal connection to it, I guess, than like
mhm,
for myself, coming just from myself and not from someone else. And yeah, that was when my kind of entrance into the fandom, I guess, kind of started hesitantly. And then it went full blown in like 2021, I think, with after season 7 of the Clone Wars came out in 2020. And that's when I joined TikTok and everything.
It's all downhill from there.
Yeah. A whole new world.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
not such a great one, but I've met a lot of lovely people, including you. So,
yeah.
yeah,
The
silver lining.
community, yeah, this community is the silver lining for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, so I find that a lot of people usually, if it's a kind of a family thing, they get it from their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my parents saw it in the 70s and 80s. They didn't introduce me to it though. It was my brother, because apparently I was being too rambunctious and running around. He was like, "You're gonna sit down and watch Star Wars," and then I did. So obviously, since you've had such a lifelong relationship with Star Wars, you got a bunch of favorites.
Yeah.
You do book reviews, so we're going to get into what is your favorite Star Wars book?
Anyone who follows me on TikTok probably knows that it's the Rogue One novelization. It's
Hmm.
literally, I read it in, what was it, 2022. And that was quite a long time since Rogue One came out. And Rogue One has been my favorite movie since it came out. But I didn't read the novelization because I was just kind of like, I don't know, I loved the movie so much that I didn't want the novelization to either not ruin it, but I don't know. There's the
Hmm.
hesitancy when you love something that much and you just don't want anything else to kind of like encroach on it. And that's why it took me a while. And finally, summer 2022, I think it was, I was like, I have to read it. I need to. And so I read it and I became obsessed. And
Hmm.
literally, I call it my Bible because I have notes on every single, literally almost every page, whether they're written down little notes, comments, or stickies, like little tabs I have on there. And I actually bought another copy so that I can reread it without having to take off the sticky notes. But yeah, that's my favorite book. It just adds so much to the movie. And I think it's perfect for people who already love the movie and people who maybe don't like it that much. Because if you already love it, it embellishes on that love. And if you didn't like it that much, it gives you a reason. Like it fills in the gaps that maybe I see a lot of people sometimes complain about in the movie. So I just think it's
Hmm.
a perfect accompaniment to Rogue One movie, and I just love it. I love it.
I don't think I can think of a bad Star Wars novelization,
Yeah.
at least the ones that I've read. Granted, I haven't read the original trilogy ones,
Hmm.
but the Revenge of the Sith one is my favorite Star Wars book to this day, and
Yeah.
still will stand by say it's better than the movie. Uh, I think the Force Awakens one is pretty good. The Last Jedi, I don't think it's. I think it's like on par with where I have the movie in my
Hmm.
opinion. And then I think that the Rise of Skywalker novelization is a lot better than in the movie.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that the solo one. I like the solo one better
Yeah.
than the movie, and the Rogue One definitely slaps.
Yeah.
Uh, I love Rogue One.
I just love that they. I think one thing good Star Wars is really good at is when they have accompaniments to other forms of media that they have for
Hmm.
Star Wars stories. They add on to it, and it's not just well for most things. They don't. It's not just a here's exact word for word what was said in the
Hmm.
movie and what the scenes looked like in the movie. They add on to it, and the Rogue One novelization especially has like data files. So you get like Mon Mothma's journal entries. You get uh, data that the Empire has on the rebels and all of
Hmm.
that stuff. And I just think it's really cool and a neat way to get people interested in multiple forms of the same story.
Yeah. And then it's not everybody can read it, but like for the people that really do that deep dive into it, it just enhances the experience so
Yeah,
much more. You
100%.
know, Rogue One, the story of a bunch of coworkers, right?
Yeah. The way you look longingly at a coworker, as one does.
Yeah, they were just work wife and work husband. It's fine.
Yeah.
So Star Wars is nothing without the characters that draw us in, that inspire us, that we love. So who are your three favorite Star Wars characters of any era, legends or canon? Doesn't matter.
This is so hard because I love like I have a different favorite character for like different moods for different
Mhm.
reasons for um I don't know like I guess I mean I narrowed them down to three. So Rex, Captain Rex, my beloved, my husband, uh Ahsoka, and I have to cheat and give a tie to Jin and Cassian. I can't
Okay.
have one without the other. They're a package deal. But those are probably my top characters if I just had to randomly like if I just had to pick of all of them. But I do have like I love Omega. So like when I'm watching the Bad Batch, Omega is my favorite character. No one
Mhm.
else exists. But yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna jump ahead and give you your mystery box question now.
Oh, okay.
Based off your favorite characters. So, what is their favorite book genre? And if they wrote a book, what would it be about?
Oh man. Okay. For Rex, do you know, right off the top of my head, and this is
Hmm.
literally off the top of my head because you didn't tell me this question before. Rex's favorite book genre is like westerns.
Hmm.
I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like he would like it. It's like adventure, but it's a safe type of adventure, and that's where he kind of gets like that out of his system. And what was the second part? What kind of book would they write?
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of book would Rex write? I'm actually gonna say some people might say this for Echo, but I think Rex would do a really, really well at writing like guides,
Hmm.
like manuals. I think that's what he would do. And he would force the 501st to read them. And Echo would be the only one who did.
Would it be like would the tagline would be like experience outranks everything?
Yeah. Yeah, like motivational. No, he'd be really great at motivational books too. Just full of taglines. That's it. For Ahsoka, I feel like she really likes a good thriller.
Hmm.
Um, and sometimes like thriller crime novels because she likes to try and figure it out before she
Hmm.
gets to the end. And as far as what she'd write, God, this is a really hard one. Um, Either I think she'd do comic books actually. I think she would really like. I think that would be her medium because it wouldn't just have to be her writing. She could draw and be visual about it. Feel like she's a very visual person. Jen and Cassian are nonfiction because they
Hmm.
don't like the frilly stuff. So they'll read the nonfiction stuff. And as far as writing, oh, I don't know. What do you think? If you had to guess for Jen and Cassian, what type of book would they write?
If they had to write a if they had to write a book together, it would probably have to be like a spy thriller, I think.
Yeah, yeah. They'd pull off of their experiences. That's good.
Hmm.
Yeah, because they don't want to read that because they live that life,
Right.
but they can write it because they live
Hmm.
that life. Yeah, that's good. I agree.
What is your favorite Star Wars quote?
Oh, the strongest stars have hearts of Kyber from Rogue One. Shira says that to Jin,
Yeah.
and that gets me every time. I get so emotional every time I hear it, and I actually want to get it tattooed at
Hmm.
some point on my arm. But I love that because it just has so much meaning, so much more than just like, yeah, there's the Death Star that literally does have a heart of Kyber.
Hmm.
There's Jen who is Stardust, and her necklace, her Kyber necklace, lies at her heart that her mother gave her. And she is the heart of everything that Galen did. And, it's just so many different like connecting themes there for that one quote. And it just means so much. And like the heart of a lightsaber is
Hmm.
Kyber and all of those things. And yeah, I just love it. And the way Sherritt says it too is really very simple, but makes it mean a little bit more, I think.
Sheridan Bay's prequel book win.
Yes, please. And like I know we have Guardians of the Wills, but I want like an actual book. I
Hmm.
want I want a full thing. And yeah, hopefully. I like the theme that we're seeing in Star Wars publishing now, where like we're finally getting a canon Mace book,
Yes.
the Jedi Council book that's coming soon. So
Hmm.
hopefully we'll see more of the characters that we've been asking for the past few years.
Yaddle and Mace content. I'm getting fed this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And Plo Koon, Papa Plo is gonna be in that Jedi Council book too.
I'm still waiting for him to show up in the High Republic. Like,
Yeah.
just, just,
We'll,
just,
we'll
just give me
finally get
like
a
Padawan Plo Koon.
yes, and we'll finally there's a joke in one of the I think it's Legends now comics where the 104th has like a betting pool going of how old Plo Koon is.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they ask him and he's like, "I'm not gonna tell you. You can guess." And I was just like, I wanna know too how old he is.
Yeah, and then he had a Wookiee as a master.
Yeah.
So I think that's still canon. I think his name was Tybaka. But
Yeah.
give us young Plo, and then give us Plo finding Ahsoka.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The one little snapshot is not enough. I need the whole thing.
Yep. And going in, because it starts with John Williams. John Williams is in his bag when he writes Star Wars pieces, but obviously we've had the Kleiner brothers, we've had Ludwig Göransson, we've had Natalie Holt. What is your favorite musical piece from Star Wars?
I I guess the one that makes me I'm always torn between a couple, but the one that makes me like feel the most, I think,
Hmm.
is Ray's theme.
Hmm.
And I think there are multiple levels to that. It fits on one level, like it fits who she is as a character so much because it sounds like at the end of the day, she's a girl who was abandoned and who's trying to find a family. And that theme somehow like just perfectly represents that.
Hmm.
And the strength it represents the strength in her and the determination, but still the wonder that she has for the galaxy and the loneliness I think that she feels a lot of the time. And so I really love that one, but I also really love to talk about not just John Williamson, but some of the other composers. I love Natalie Holt's Little Leia theme.
Hmm.
Oh my god, I love that one so much. When I heard it when Kenobi was first airing, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, I immediately was just like, that fits Leia so well. And it matches
Yeah.
her theme so well too. And I just thought that was a beautiful example of a different composer working in tandem so well with what was originally there. And I
Hmm.
love that. So both of those mean a lot to me, and I listen to them quite a bit.
Yeah. Ray's theme slaps. It's from the Force Awakens soundtrack. At least it's my second favorite, with the last steps or the final steps and the finale
Mhm.
being my favorite, which incorporates Ray's theme.
Yeah.
Just because it just ties it all together, and then it just leaves you like, what's going to happen next, just like the film
Yeah.
does. So
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Uh, but thank you for coming on, Twin. Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
having me. It was fun to talk about this and to see you
Yeah,
live for the first time since April.
April. Yeah, that's oh, that's what happens when across the ponds.
Yep, time.
Yeah, it's a man-made construct.
Yep.
Uh, but let the people know where they can find you and find your content.
Yeah, on TikTok, I'm at Written in the Star Wars, and on Twitter, I'm Danny S394. But yeah, you can find me both of those places for now on Twitter, I guess. It hasn't died yet, so I'll be there till the bitter end.
Bitter end, and it will very much be a bitter end. Thank you again for coming on. It was great talking to you. For everybody listening, remember, until next time, there are more of us.